Welcome to ARC Encounter. I'm your host, Marina Macias, and I'm so excited to be on this ARC path journey with you. Today, we will encounter networking through the lens of lifestyle. Here on the ARC Encounter, we transform moments of drama and conflict into opportunities of growth and discovery. I'm so excited to see what we will learn today and be able to apply into our lives to make better choices. Our guide today, Bernard Bashura, will guide us along this journey where we may encounter a special VIP along the way. Now, let's get you started on the ARC encounter with this quick video.
Is the lifestyle path to better choices. It empowers us to live life to the fullest and paves the way for people like you and me to discover our unique purpose and passion. Choosing to walk the ARC path invites transformation and growth in 5 key areas of life: leadership, communication, mindset, community, and lifestyle. As we dive into these lenses, they redirect our focus and guide us into a deeper understanding of where we're at today and where we're going tomorrow. This is ARC Encounter. Welcome to the ARC Path.
Hi, my name is Bernard Bashura, and welcome to ARC Encounter. It's something and a time that I celebrate so much, being here talking to you guys about such an amazing topic week after week. And this week is something that has changed my life: networking. And of course, we're talking about it through one of the lenses, which is lifestyle this week. And of course, I get to do one of the better lenses because it's something that I'm more familiar with. It's something that I live out every day of my life as a networker, as somebody that loves people, loves community. And I just get to be who I am every day, and I celebrate that. And what's great about today is I get to be with a friend that has the same values as I do, loves to celebrate, loves to network, and really loves lives a lifestyle of connection with people. So help me welcome my friend Saed Albasha. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here. And I just wanted to let you know, we see you as a VIP. And so for us, a VIP is someone that really knows their values, lives into their identity, and knows their purpose, kind of lives it out every day of their life. And you're a businessman, you are a father, you're a husband, you are I want to say a community leader, because you love the community that you're a part of. And it's something that you live out every day of your life. So first of all, what does it feel like to celebrate what I just said? To know that you can show up someplace and you can be celebrated as a community leader.
Well, it's an honor. It's flattering. You know, it's one of those things where just by doing what I believe in, doing what I think is right, being acknowledged in any way is flattering and amazing. But it's also gratifying. It feels good to have people view me from a lens of any kind of respect or admiration, or being a part of anything bigger than myself.
Love that. And what you just articulated was your values. And your friends and community around you, we get to watch you from a distance and up close, some of us, and we know your values. What is it that you would invite others to recognize about your values, somebody that doesn't know you?
So, yeah, I think it's to not be misunderstood. I don't know that there's an overreaching view that I want, more than just a good-hearted person. You know, and I don't seek to be, praised or propped up or put on any kind of pedestal. Really, for me, it's more about, am I doing the things that make other people proud? My parents, especially. My parents instilled this in me. They were both I feel like I owe them a great debt of gratitude because of the fact that they instilled these things in me, and is the work hard, be a good person, kind of do unto others kind of philosophy, but more in a sense of living that on a day-to-day basis, not just for some sort of reward. And I think that's where that comes from. I don't expect anything in return. When I do something, I try not to expect anything in return. Sometimes when it's business, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
You want some kind of return on investment. But when it comes to acts of kindness, or service to the community, that kind of stuff, I feel like the community has given me so much over the years that I would be remiss if I didn't give some back.
Love that. I mean, again, I love that. And just folks, he wasn't prepared for this. As you can, I mean, this is something, it's who he is. It's what he does. It's something that's been ingrained in him all of his life. And it's something that I celebrate as your friend and somebody that's known you for a very long time. You just had a baby, 2 years old,
Yeah.
right? And it just coming off of what you just articulated, like these values. How did having a baby change your mindset and anchor you deeper in your values, maybe?
Yeah. So I didn't realize how selfish I was.
Now, folks.
Not from a standpoint, like I said, not from a standpoint of like me being, just me. Because I did do things for the community. I did do things to help my parents and my family and things, but I didn't realize how selfish I was with my own time and how much I thought about myself until this little guy, presented himself into our family here, and so. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm enjoying it. And but the way my viewpoint has changed is that we talked earlier about giving something without the expectation of any kind of reciprocation, and really he does reciprocate because I feel the love, But it's like I go out of my way to make sure I'm present. And that's something that I was not quite on my radar. I was there with my wife, we're present for each other and we support each other, but this guy has just consumed my entire attention, and it made me actually want to become even better, and so that he can see and imitate or mimic or have something to look forward to. Know that there's goodness in the world because it exists everywhere. Once you turn off your social media a little bit,
So true.
in the news, you can see, if you go out and talk to your neighbor, you could see that there's good people and there's goodness in the world. So I want to be that reminder for him. And I want to be the consistent or the constant in his life. That's regardless of what's going on in his life, he's got this goodness to focus on, and that he has somebody that he could look up to in that regard.
I love that. You embody your values. It's something it's not just something that you just say. I know you live it out every day with your family, with your community. And just this how will you capture that? It's how do you not only want to capture it, but you want to pass it on by modeling it and working even harder to celebrate that. I think you didn't just do it for your son. I think you did it for our audience as well. And that's we can just call the show, guys, right now. It's over. This is it. You just heard it. Just pass it on. And I love that.
Yeah.
The next part of the ARC encounter is really when we get onto the ARC path. And the ARC path is recognizing, well, look, you were invited today because you live your values networking. And it's just, you do go to your neighbor. And you go to the neighbor on the left and the one on the right and the one across the street. And you celebrate them as being in the community. And that's kind of one of the things that we're looking at is there's an acknowledgement that happened that became important to you. When is your first recollection of how do you value your neighbor?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know that there was any one instance. I think it's a accumulation of events and accumulation of experiences. Like I said, the community's given me so much. My community, ever since whether it was youth sports or I went to public schools. And the safety of our law enforcement, that affords us, all that stuff is a cumulative effect. But I think if you were to really pinpoint as far as the networking and neighborly component of it, it really was when I started my business. And I started my business 13 years ago, and I started going out to meet more people because that was that's what you do when you're a business owner. You have to get to know everybody. And initially, it was I started seeing everybody as a potential prospect or a potential paycheck or something, another commission check. Yeah. And as I started talking to more people, I started becoming more fascinated with people. And I started realizing that this person is not a static, who they are today. They were once a baby, and they were once a child, and they were once, a teenager, and then a 20-something, and now they're an adult. And everybody has a story, and those stories became a part of my life. And I'd learned from these people as the more people as I met, I learned from these people both what I like and what I don't like about people. I mean, it's not everybody's right.
It's a package.
But even things that I don't like about people, you have to appreciate. We need variety. I think it's variety and diversity is something that we can all thrive off of and learn from. But those accumulation of relationships that some of them grew and some of them didn't go anywhere, but added to that what you were talking about in terms of moments, So there wasn't really one moment that I can kind of pinpoint, but starting a business kind of launched that and propelled me into a person that needed to be the person to get to know people and go out and meet more people so I could learn from.
I love that. I love that. And it just the acknowledgement that it is important. I think you launched at it from a place of necessity. It's like, hey, you know what? I need to go out there and do it. And once you did, you were surprised about what you find out there. And the more people that you touched, the more value you found in your community, and you got to know them, and they got to know you in return.
Absolutely.
But you had to overcome that, and that's kind of where we come to this healing element, where you needed healing in that area. We all do. I mean, let's face it, just relationships, connections from our childhoods to adulthood. There's our connections and networks transform over time and impact our lifestyle. But this new lifestyle that you began in this business changed your perspective on community and network. So what was some of the healing points that you needed to overcome in this networking business?
That's actually really powerful and profound, because it helped me get over my sense of being so kind of in a bubble, being selfish, or having things that are, you can call them inadequacies, or you can call them, everybody's self-conscious about something, right? You have either whether physical appearance or a speech impediment or something, but it's the imperfections and the my own insecurities kind of started to go away once I started realizing that I'm a part of a community. Because I no longer needed to be this perfect, human that does everything right and has to be everywhere and do everything. It's like, no, if I needed something, I have somebody to fall back on.
Yeah.
And that's come true so many times over in the past, God knows how many years, but pretty much my whole life. So, it's to me, the importance of a community was built through in injecting myself into the community and seeing that there's people you could fall back on, people who are good at things that I'm not, and where I can kind of contribute where I'm good and they're not, or the other way, whatever ways that kind of plays itself out to be. So it's a long around way to say that, the importance of it is really just that I don't feel alone, and that it got rid of my kind of loneliness and really being in a shell and not trusting people and just kind of living only for me.
Yeah. Well, again, it's healing. I mean, I think as I relate to what you're saying, because I went through a similar journey of networking, going, will I make it out there? Will people connect with me? Do I have the confidence, the strength, the security to do that? And you go through this healing element, and I so relate to what you're saying, that connection point, and it's peace. I guess for me, it's once I kind of got over that initial being thrown out there to connect with people, it was like, oh, wait a minute. What I tell people is, I've traveled so much. I tell people I love people. I think people are amazing. The diversity, I celebrate it just like you do, and that's kind of why we get along, because it's just kind of, we have the same value set in that. But then, so we move on the ARC path to restoration, because I love how you captured healing, because it led you to this next area of your life where you celebrated networking, where the lifestyle became normative in your life, to go out there and network with people, and you had the confidence, the courage, the strength, and more importantly is the connection. It was that authentic connection. So I saw you grow in that, and it was super fast. How do you capture that for our audience? Is that restoration where you became comfortable with it?
Yeah. So it's you mentioned the word peace earlier, and I feel like I found my peace through that, and found the confidence to be myself, rather than trying to be the person that I thought I would need to be in order to attract the people I wanted in my life, or I thought I wanted in my life. For a while, I was kind of roaming around and trying to impress people, because I thought that's who you want in your life, or that's who you have to emulate in order to be successful or be this person. And I found peace with who I am, and who I was, and who I'm growing to be, and that is really ultimately, something that I feel like anybody would not necessarily find if they're just looking for it, but you're going to find it along the journey. And so if I was to offer anything, it's that be open-minded to I don't know how to phrase this so that it's in a positive, or not positive, but in a constructive way. But be open-minded to those community events and community interactions that you might have veered away from in the past. It could be something as simple as holding the door open for somebody and waving to them on the way out, saying hi as you're passing down the street. I know that's gotten weird with COVID and everything, and it's kind of taken us out of our element. But when it comes to, what can be found along the way, you won't know. And don't be afraid of the unknown.
To put yourself out there.
Yeah. So to I guess kind of put the stamp on it is to say, if you're open-minded to these interactions and you put yourself in a position where you're going to be in front of people, it doesn't have to be a group, but in front of people in the community, then you won't know what you're going to discover until you discover it.
Yeah.
And that's what I found along my journey.
Yeah, I love that. You're kind of describing. We did a series just a short while back on courage, and I'm pulling courage. That entire series was aimed at courage, and it just I'm connecting that with what you're saying in terms of you really needed to have that courage to know, hey, just try it. Go out there, anchor yourself in who you are, your identity, and your purpose will come out. Those connection points will come out, and I agree. I love that point. But it gets better. I think the journey doesn't stop at just restoration, that connection. It gets to this kingdom reality, which we call is, what does it look like to live a life of networking where it's not work, where it's joy, it's celebration, it's knowing who you are, it's knowing your community, and it's something that you excited about doing every day of your life. Because I don't know if our audience believes or lives that out. And so can you share, what is the joy of knowing your job is to get up and go network today?
Yeah, that's you have to love it. I think in order to want to live it. I mentioned earlier that I was fascinated with people, and there's something that stands out. I read it in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and my wife just reminded me of it the other day, and that is to seek to understand. And so every day I wake up with a curiosity, and who am I going to meet? What's my conversation going to be like? What can I learn along, the journey, and how will it play out? And so where I come from every day is a place of curiosity.
Yeah.
And so how to enjoy it really just boils down to, are you curious? And if you've ever been curious about anything, you can find the answer. I know you've been curious about something because Google is the most visited website. So you've been curious about everybody's Googled something. You're curious about something, but it's the curiosity comes from, or the enjoyment comes from the curiosity. And then you're pleasantly surprised sometimes, and you're let down other times. That's okay. Life is not linear. It's a stock market kind of thing. But it is enjoyable to go out there and meet somebody and learn about them. And if you come out there with a genuine curiosity and you go to, even if it's somebody you disagree with, even if it's somebody who doesn't live the same lifestyle as you, if you're curious and you ask them the questions as to what propels them, you might learn something about yourself in the process. Even if you don't agree with it, you might learn that you don't like what they have to say, and that's okay too.
Love that. I mean, it's such amazing advice. I'll tell you, it's so relevant, not just for every day, but for today, what's happening in the world today. I mean, just to be curious about each other, to want to network with each other and celebrate and not judge each other for some of the stuff that we're doing or saying. It's so relevant for right now. And I love that you champion that. I love that you and thank your wife for reminding us all of that again. It's just to be curious about it, to seek it out every day, because it's a place of joy. It is. It's something that as I traveled a lot, I celebrated a lot, and I think our audience just kind of connected with what you just said. So I appreciate that.
Of course.
So folks, here we have it. Networking as a lifestyle. You have someone that you've seen how he's modeled it through his life, through his career, and it's something that's available for all of us. It's just, do we reach for it? Do we believe that it's going to transform our lives, or better yet, is it going to transform our communities? Because your lifestyle is what transforms your community. And that's the invitation, is on the ARC path, is come and join us. You're going to find more people like Saed. You're going to find more people like some of our other guests that live this, that believe this, and they live it out every day. And it transforms our communities and our lives. So if you really want more of this, join us on the ARC path and share with us what you're finding, what's changing you and changing your life, because we want to be connected to you. And here we have Marina that's going to tell you more of more ways to be connected with the ARC path.
I love how Saeed brought to light that networking with lifestyle comes with curiosity and having the courage to be yourself and stop being the person you think other people want you to be. If you want to discover more, visit our website at arcpath.com. Follow us on social media at arcpath. Listen in to our podcast featuring Bernard Bashira and Casey Cox, available on all listening platforms. And make sure to download our Circles Now app, where you can dive deeper into different topics so you can start creating a lifestyle of better choices. I hope you enjoyed today's ARC encounter, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.